To all of my new subscribers and people who are new to the channel, thanks for coming along. I thought I'd bring you along for this video on my 94 rollback. It is the Chevy 3500 HD. There's not a lot of trucks out there that survived, and I've not seen another video on how to do this installation I'm going to show you. So what's going on is the clutch in this is activated hydraulically. So you have a master cylinder, a line that connects the slave cylinder. The slave cylinder in this truck is external, thank God, so we don't have to take the transmission out. It's just 2 bolts to release the slave cylinder and 2 bolts to take off the master cylinder, and the clutch pedal is just a clip that you unhook. Thought I heard somebody sneaking up on me. Anyway, I'll show you all that. I know a little bit about this because I did replace the line without the 2 cylinders because the line had broke on me. Actually started a fire under the hood, but I got to it quick enough it didn't do any damage that I know of. However, we don't have a clutch that works very well. You have to shut the engine off to put it in gear and then use the starter to get the truck moving, and then you got to run this thing without a clutch, which is hard to do, especially in traffic. So I got to get this fixed. I bought the whole kit because I had replaced the line. I suspect either the master cylinder or the slave cylinder or a combination of both. It is an old truck. I think these are original parts, except for the line itself. And the kit was available for not much more than buying 2 components separately. So I'm going to show you how to put the whole kit together. It's a little bit tricky because you got to reach in behind the engine bay, and that's never fun, especially when you're a big guy like me and too old to be crawling over engines. But the overhead creeper sure helps. And if you're doing this job, get a buddy to help. That would definitely help you too. So let's get moving. The only real tools you need for this job are a 13mm deep wall socket, worked in my case. An extension made it easier to get to some things. A ratchet of your choice. It does require a torque of 13 foot-pounds or 156 inch-pounds for both the master cylinder and the slave cylinder attaching bolts. And I did top off my reservoir with .3, which is what is required for this particular truck. Alright, here is the master cylinder. Of course, we have to go inside the truck to gain access to the rod, and there's 2 nuts holding that to the firewall. The line goes down underneath, and in my case, you can see it tucking behind the engine where that silver tape is. I put some heat-resistant tape on there because the engine bay, like I was saying, gets so hot, it actually melted that line. So what we're going to do next is get underneath the dash and pull the tube here, push-pull tube from the clutch pedal, and that's done by releasing these tabs on this plastic retainer here. Now mine's broken, so it'll come off differently. I don't know that I can show you that, but when you put this on, it just snaps in place. Okay, there's that connector right there. I'm just going to get a screwdriver in there and pull that out because, like I said, it's broken. So, but that's the clutch pedal. Push-pull rod there, and I'll get that off next. Okay, 2 nuts on the master cylinder, so a 13 as well, and in my case I needed a long deep well socket. I'll get these 2 and then bring it back. Clutch rod makes this a little bit of a trick. Okay, there we go. With the line intact, it makes it a little more difficult. But it can be fished out of here. Just kind of watch how things go and not to tear up your line. Since the kit comes all assembled, I kind of want to put this back as an assembly, plus knowing how this comes out might help me put the new one in. I got to get this unit up underneath power steering and brake cylinder here, or brake master cylinder. I guess I'm not all the way out yet. That's right there. Oh, for crying out loud. There we go. Man, what a pain. And then I want to pull the cap off again. This is not going well. Master cylinder is just tucked up underneath the washer motor there, and the line's loose. So now I gotta go underneath and disconnect the slave cylinder so it'll all drop down, and hopefully we can push that through. Alright, here's a shot of the slave cylinder. You can see the starter above it. So the top of the screen is forward of the truck and we're on the passenger side. So we just got to get these two nuts off here to release this from the engine, and then we can get on top and do the rest of the work. So in my case, it was better to get extension so I can get past the exhaust pipe here, and this is a 13 millimeter. So I want to show you this picture of how the line is routed behind the engine. There's a point where it is attached if yours is still original. That's very difficult to get to. Since I replaced my line and I was able to get to that, when I put the new line in, I did not reattach that point. Just didn't see a need in it because I had an idea I'd be back. So here we are doing it again. Anyway, cut the line if you need to. The instructions actually mention that. So if you're replacing it, cut this one out. It's a lot easier, but you will have to snake the new line back here. And yeah, it's difficult. So let's do that next. All right, I got it out. Couldn't get the camera here at the same time, but what I end up doing, let's see if I can get something up here. So what I end up doing is removing a bracket here, just here. Bracket was two 14 millimeter bolts right up there. I'm sorry for the camera work, I just can't get in here. Anyway, opened up this area so I can get the master cylinder down through here, and it's on the floor beside me. So alright, we're halfway there. Well, now that I got it out, I'm stretching the new one out next to it. Looks correct. So now we got to feed this one into the engine bay. And I don't know if I can get the camera in there to show you, but you just got to get around the bell housing. Do the best you can. There's not really any way I can show you how to do it because your application may be a little different. But let's get the new one back in. Alright, I got most of it snaked in. Still got a little work to do. If I wanted to make a point here, this plastic retainer that holds your rod in, you want to keep that on actually. The first time you push the brake, the clutch pedal, this will extend and break off. And yeah, it'll lay up in there, but that's the way it's designed. I've got a little bit of a room up in here to get in there possibly. I don't have a shield, so once this is in place I can fish it out, but it sits in like that. But I've got to take this cannon plug off here so I can get that pipe on the back side of those wires so it's interfering. I've got it pretty well run where I need it. I can adjust it a little more. I tie it up, get it off the heat source back here. But I'm going to work on getting this installed next. And what we need to do is put the rod through the hole there, which I can do now, I think. Yeah, set it off through the hole. Get it lined up on the bolts here, the studs. And then on this end here, it's got a cut into it that fits into the cylinder here, and once it's in, it doesn't come back out unless you break a tab that's in it's a plastic tab in there. So we'll just get this set up, and then I'll ram that in there from the inside. Should seat that. But let me put the camera down and get this on. I'll bring you back. Alright, here we are all installed. I did a little overboard with my heat shields here, but I had some in a drawer, so I just decided to put them to use so that I didn't have the same problem which caused all this havoc, was that line becoming insecure and hitting this pipe down here and burning up on me. So anyway, kit's installed, reservoir is topped off, and I guess we're ready for a test drive. I was just going through under the hood, making sure I didn't leave any tools or anything. I left lots of skin and blood behind, I'll tell you that much. Let's go for a ride. So we've been on the road 15 minutes now. Temperature's up, and the clutch is holding out nicely. It's drifting, it's real smooth. The clutch engager's about mid-travel, which is what I would have expected on a good clutch. It's a lot better than engaging right off the floor, so I think we got it going here. we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna do some idling and get it nice and hot. Check it again, make sure we got this thing fixed. All right, here it is, 3-4 hours later. Finally got this truck done. You were on the test drive with me, and I think you can hear my voice. I'm pretty happy that it's working well. So I can't tell you what was wrong with the truck. I don't know if it was a slave cylinder, master cylinder. I very much don't expect the line in between the two because that's fairly new and there's no evidence of any leaks. But it works now, and the kit is available for these trucks. Again, 94 Chevrolet 3500 HD, and the diesel engine or the 454, same part number, and those will all be in the description. I think I may have mentioned that already. But anyway, thank you all. I appreciate you coming along, hanging in. We're hanging in there with these videos. I've gained some subscribers over the last few months, and I appreciate that. Not real sure why, because life events have taken me away from doing very many videos, but thank you. I appreciate y'all, and I guess we'll see you in the next video.